David, this happened at Stoneman Douglas High School near Miami. The school superintendent says there are multiple fatalities, and the local sheriff's office says at least 14 people were injured. Now, this is a live look at the scene. Police do have a suspect in custody, but the scene is still very active tonight. The Miami Herald is reporting that the suspect is a former student. Shots rang out inside the school around 2:30 this afternoon. Students started rushing into the streets as a SWAT team stormed inside the school and put the building on lockdown. Police are telling teachers and students to stay inside until officers can get to them. Still, several people have been running out of the school in fear. This story is still rapidly developing. Stay with 13 News Now all evening. We will be bringing you new information every few minutes on air, and you can get up-to-the-minute updates online as well.
All right, checking on the weather. We're still stuck in a roller coaster of warm and cold, rain and no rain. So where will the ride take us tonight? Jeff is in now with some answers. Jeff.
Well, the ride's going to take us back up during the night tonight. Temperatures we had thought would make the upper 50s today. So far, it's low to mid 50s, but keep your fingers crossed. I think we're not going to quite get the upper 50s, but we are going to rise some, and I'll show you that. And that leads to really warm air for tomorrow. More on that in a minute. We've had a little bit of rain around at times today. Most of it has evaporated before it hit the ground. I haven't been able to find any spots reporting any actual precipitation. So let me put it all in motion. That's the current shot. We'll get to that in a second. Here is that batch again that came through earlier. All of that either aloft or maybe at most a couple of isolated raindrops on your windshield, sprinkles really. But now this has got a little bit more of the dark green showing up in it. So I would estimate that there are at least a few areas where you might not need the umbrella, but you're probably going to see a very light and very brief shower moving through this evening. Now later tonight, things will pick up a little bit more with more isolated, even maybe scattered activity. So not completely done, but the good news is right now it is cloudy, as you can see here on Skyview, but the airport is reporting crystal clear conditions and 52 degrees. Winds out of the southwest. That's why the readings have been going up throughout the afternoon, slowly but surely, about a degree or so per hour. And we expect that to continue, especially later tonight as the wind picks up even more out of the south. Notice by morning back up into the mid 50s. So in terms of your rain chances, pretty low, about 20%. That means one or two of you out there will need the umbrella tonight. But for most of us, we're just going to be talking about some cloudy, mild conditions that turn really warm tomorrow. And wait until you see the temperatures in my extended forecast.
Well, right now, police in Newport News are looking for a man in connection with a serious injury to a 6-month-old boy. We're told officers were called to a home on Robinson Drive yesterday afternoon for a baby suffering a medical emergency. That's when they say they found out someone had hurt the boy. Right now, they're looking for 24-year-old Denzel Arrington in connection with the case. We're told warrants are out for his arrest for aggravated malicious wounding and felony child abuse and neglect. Police tell us the boy is in stable condition at the hospital right now. Well, what started as a traffic stop in Isle of Wight County earlier this week ended with a wild arrest. Check out the body camera footage.
Let me get in the squad car. You don't even check me no more. I ain't got no guns and nothing on me, bro.
I ain't gonna finish checking you.
Put me in the squad car. You said I'm under arrest for speeding, right?
I didn't say you're under arrest.
For speeding, yes, you did. Put me in the squad car.
Stop.
Put me in the squad.
Stop.
No.
Is this how?
Well, police say that's Shanice Vaughn being handcuffed, and we're told she was stopped on Route 460 for speeding when investigators say she and a passenger became irate and uncooperative. Police say they found a loaded gun inside the car while they were searching. Both Vaughn and the passenger are facing charges tonight. We'll have more on the case tonight, including an interview with investigators on 13 News Now at 6.
From $480 million to zero. That's the Trump administration's budget proposal for the Corporation for Public Broadcasting, the organization behind PBS and NPR. The cut would be painful here in Hampton Roads for WHRO-TV and WHRV-FM. 13 News Now reporter Mike Gooding has reaction.
Well, David, President Trump's budget document describes the many cuts as an aggressive set of actions to redefine the proper place of the federal government. But those who support public broadcasting call these particular cuts a bad idea.
I am totally...
Under President Trump's budget, the Corporation for Public Broadcasting would get nothing. No money for PBS, no funding for NPR.
It's unfortunate that the administration is again looking to zero us out.
WHRO President and CEO Bert Schmidt says such a cut would be a mistake.
Public media is consistently shown as the best place to get true information that keeps our citizens well informed. To not fund that is going against what this nation truly needs.
WHRO is owned by a consortium of 19 Hampton Roads public school districts.
Well, I'm extremely disappointed, and I think as citizens we have to push back.
Norfolk School Board Chairman Rodney Jordan says WHRO is a crucial partner.
So when we talk about these cuts, I think it's important that we recognize there are educational services from all the way from 12th grade on down, and also they're a foundation for professional development for our teachers, support for our early learners, support for families. They support all kinds of additional academic program that allows for students to go online and take advantage of their resources. They tie it to our standards of learning.
Schmidt, with a membership base of 21,000 contributors at his station, is upbeat.
The American people love public media, and it's reflected in Congress. So we're quite optimistic and hopeful that Congress will do, as they've done every year in the past, do what they do with the budget and continue to support public media.
And we, of course, wanted to know what our congressional delegation thought about all this. I reached out to the offices of Senator Tim Kaine and Congressman Rob Whitman and Scott Taylor. I'm still waiting to hear back from them all. Reporting live, Mike Gooding, 13 News Now.
Portsmouth police today hit the streets at the scene where 22-year-old Ketandra Wilson was shot and killed just 24 hours ago. It's what they call a reset walk.
Officers met with members of the community on Des Moines Avenue looking to get leads on the murder, but also to reassure people that they're doing everything they can to keep the neighborhood safe.
13 News Now reporter Erin Bowe spoke to the woman's grandfather about the tragedy. She joins us live in Portsmouth right now. Erin.
Yeah, and David, Ketandra Wilson's grandfather tells me that she was here in Portsmouth yesterday visiting people. He described her as a big kid, loving to watch cartoons at the age of 22, but very friendly. So as you can imagine, the family is just heartbroken and shocked that something like this has happened. Heartbroken.
To know that your baby is gone.
George Cross talked about his granddaughter, Ketandra Wilson. He's raised her in this Suffolk home since she was 4 months old.
Really, she was my granddaughter, and she's my daughter. So. Yeah. Just hurtful.
And he was torn apart when he learned she was shot and killed.
He ain't coming back.
It was Tuesday afternoon. Portsmouth police arrived in the area of Des Moines Avenue and Portsmouth Boulevard. That's where they found the 22-year-old shot in the stomach. As a result, she died at the scene.
It's a terrible feeling. I'm sad. When the detective told me, about it, it was just like something just knocked me right out.
And today, officers spent the afternoon walking the neighborhood where she was found, looking for answers about her murder. Meanwhile, her grandfather clutched her graduation photo, remembering that special moment.
And then when I saw my grandbaby, I was proud. I was proud. I was like a peacock. Proud.
A moment that's now a memory as he prays that whoever's behind her murder will come forward. And right now, Portsmouth police are still investigating this case, so if anyone out there has any information that could help them, you're asked to call the crime line. Reporting live in Portsmouth, I'm Erin LeBeau, 13 News Now.
Thank you, Erin. And we've also learned new information about a shooting at the oceanfront. Police now confirming the man who was shot yesterday has died. Happened on 16th Street around 3:30 yesterday afternoon. And police tell us the victim was shot while he was in a car that then crashed at the scene. And we're working to learn who the victim is. In the meantime, officers say they don't believe this was a random shooting. Stay with 13 News Now. We'll update you with new information as we learn it.
Today we got to look inside the security checkpoint at Norfolk International at one of the TSA's new screening procedures. You might have noticed it if you have flown recently. Transportation security officers are asking passengers if they've got any electronics in their bags larger than a cell phone. Those items now need to be put in those bins, in their own bin. The TSA says the new measure is necessary.
We know that the terrorists are good at concealing improvised explosive devices, bombs, in electronics, and we need to try to stay one step ahead of them.
Passengers who use TSA PreCheck don't have to undergo this new procedure. Anyone can sign up for PreCheck. For more information, go to our website, 13newsnow.com.
Taking you now to Oregon and the scene of a daring rescue. First responders raced against time to bring down several hikers who were stuck on Mount Hood after one of them fell hundreds of feet and died. ABC's Danya Backus has the latest.
A high-altitude rescue unfolding on Mount Hood, Oregon's highest peak.
They're saying the location they're at with the patient is not safe.
Calls for help coming in after one climber fell more than 700 feet. The daring rescue playing out as fellow climbers performed chest compressions and flagged down a rescue helicopter.
Climbers with medical training have made it to the patient. They've stabilized him, have him in recovery position. Saying he needs a helicopter.
Oregon National Guard sending in a Black Hawk helicopter, but not before the situation grew worse, with climbers trying to block falling rocks and snow from hitting the man.
I was a report from one of the persons involved in the climbing that quote was, it was like a bowling alley.
A medic was able to reach the man and airlift him to the hospital where he later died. In total, 7 climbers in 2 groups were taken down or off the mountain. Rescuers using a sled to bring down the last climber who was injured.
She is unable to walk. She is unable, as my understanding, she is unable to physically move.
Climbers saying the conditions on the mountain were particularly treacherous Tuesday.
Ice was just really bad. I saw a lot of people up ahead struggling that started earlier on, and just decided to turn back.
That last climber was brought to safety after 17 hours on the mountain. Rescuers making sure to get everyone off of Mount Hood before a snowstorm today. Danya Backus, ABC News, Los Angeles.